Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Early Edge. We are Steve Atwater days away from NFL kickoff, otherwise known as Eddie George, or whatever 27 you want to put in the chat. Hit the like button while you're doing it. We're going to have a great Friday, but let's see how we did on Thursday before we bring in the stars of the show. I hit my preseason bet. Buckets goes 2 out of 3. A good day overall. Let's count them up. 5 and 3 overall. We'll take that every time. Look at the losses, though. Plus 200 was a loss. Plus 700 was a near win, by the way, but also a loss, and then an even money. All our losses were big-time plus money. So that's how we want the distribution to go if we're going to have 5 wins and 3 losses. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be a great Friday. We're starting to inch towards football season, college football, NFL. Bradley Jacobs pointing out that him and Buckets get to enjoy in Martin Green Premier League in 7 days. A lot going on, but nothing upstages Big Pick Energy Friday. Oh, here we go.
Let's go.
I love it. Mackenzie's like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm trying to fit in. I'll tell you what, Mackenzie, before I get to your confusion, I think we need a bit of a chip me up.
Good morning, Sia. Good morning, kids. Good morning, Buckets. Good morning, Snake. Good morning, Early Edge fam. Because what are we doing? Are we counting them days? Or are we going to count them up? That's right. We count up because we are positive here. We don't count down. We count up all the way to college football kickoff, just a couple weeks away. But we do still have some golf because, listen, Lil Debbie came and cruised out my window. We were in the house all daggum day. Flooding going on everywhere, but we're safe. We're sound, and we've got scoring opportunities in Greensboro, North Carolina at the Wyndham Championship. Got a pick for you from the PGA.
Yeah, that's right. We actually have some picks already pending from the Tuesday and Wednesday show. They finally got the round underway 14 minutes ago. There may be a stoppage later today. We'll wait and see. This first round might finish tomorrow. But either way, it's going to be a lot of golf between now and Monday. Mackenzie Brooks, we don't get a lot of you on a Friday. How you doing? And we probably should have prepped you for the little dancing bit that we do every Friday morning.
You know what? That was all on me. I just did not register that was Friday. It's Big Pick Energy Friday, but now I'm dialed in. Now Chip has me hyped up. I'm called up from the minors. It's a big day, big Friday.
Oh, called down from the majors indeed, not the minors. Buckets, you're dancing, you're feeling good. You got a different background. We needed a mouth update. And of course, you got to be psyched. I know you got some soccer plays, but you got to be psyched for Premier League that Bradley brought up.
Oh, absolutely, Sia. But I'm more psyched that we are Scott Niedermeyer days away from football being back. 27. We all know who that is. I'm not even going to explain how I knew who that was. But, man, I'm excited to be here. It's Big Pick Energy Friday. You might notice I have 3 Band-Aids on my fingers. I bought some mouse traps and decided to test them out to see how strong they are. They're very, very strong. So be careful if you're playing with mouse traps, Sia. But it's a good day overall. Just happy to be here.
Can we see the Band-Aids again?
Yeah,
this was like when he grabbed the pan. Remember when he burned?
That was during the draft. That was terrible.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. And I think it was your brother that finished the draft, and you ended up killing everybody.
Oh, that is great. Yeah, I had no idea who was on my team. I just told him have fun with it. He actually watches football, so it worked out.
That's amazing. Danny Brasco in the chat. Little quick note, Buckets. The manufacturer usually tests out the traps and all the things that they make. So you don't need to be that extra layer of security as to whether or not it works.
So a little embarrassing. And I didn't do it on purpose. I was actually, because I'm going to be an Olympian in 4 years. We've established that yesterday. Yep. I was testing my reaction time. So I put something on the trap and was trying to grab it before it went off. Lost the very first time, though. It's fast.
Yeah, we need somebody to come check on Buckets at least once a week to prevent these things from happening. Chip, your response before we get to Buckets picks.
I think the idea of wellness checks is a fantastic idea for Buckets.
And then then again, he's a mad genius. He beat me on that showdown with the Chicago White Sox of all teams a couple of days ago. He challenged me on Twitter, and then he's got the balloons and fireworks going at his disposal when he gives us 2 thumbs up and what have you. All right. Speaking of 2, Buckets, let's get to the picks. Let's finally get to the picks. You've got 2 picks for us. What are they?
We have to wait another week for the English Premier League, but we do have the English Championship back starting this afternoon, which is the second tier of English football, which is still better than most professional football. So we're very excited to have that back. And we're starting with the opening match between Blackburn Rovers and Derby County. And we're going to bet simple on this one. The nice, sweet, sexy Buckets classic of both teams to score, currently priced at -125. Derby County did a great job to get promoted from League One back to the championship. And whenever you have a team that just was promoted to a higher league, the first match, they tend to play very scrappy. They want to make a statement. They want to show up, and they want to remind everyone else in the championship that they are here to be an actual competitor and to fight for games. Blackburn Rover is a great attacking side, but a very poor defensive side over recent years here. So I'm loving the fact that BTTS is playable in this very first English matchup. Then we're going to the Svein Bundesliga with another amazing matchup here as FC Kaiserslautern will take on Grauder Fürth. And we have to go with a little bit of a same game parlay to get this to playable odds, but I'm going both teams to score and over 2.5 goals in this game. If you ever see Grauder Fürth playing a competitive game, I do not care if they're playing Manchester City. I do not care if they are playing Akron, which I think is a college. I don't care if they're playing me, Kenzie, Chip, and Sia. You bet both teams to score, and you bet over 2.5 if it's ever a playable line, because this team is the kings of we're going to score 3 goals, but we're going to concede 3 goals along the way too. I'm expecting to play this game or this line every single match for first season, and it's still playable right now at -135.
Wow. Absolutely love the analysis. Love Danny Brasco's comment, by the way. He says, well, by the way, somebody said you're going to need those fingers for volleyball. So very good point. I think that was Brian Smith. Danny Brasco says Buckets is patient zero on everything. Love that comment. And then there was a question. There was a legitimate question, Buckets, on Spain, Germany. Is that game going on right now? Because somebody was asking, do you have kind of an in-game wager or an in-game play on that one?
It is going on right now. I wasn't watching it because I was dealing with the whole finger thing. Looks like.
Okay, I was going to say I could come back to you in a couple minutes, or maybe time sensitive. Maybe you want to look at it now. Go ahead.
Give me 108 seconds and I'll be ready.
All right, 12 seconds short of the 2-minute mark. Quick math. 7th grade math is my forte, my Matt forte, if you will. All right, let's go to a sports line pick. Royals money line -120. That's where we're going with sports line. We're setting up Miles Michaelis. I'm happy to fade Miles Michaelis on the regular. He's going for the Cardinals. We got Michael Lorenzen on the mound for the Royals. It's an 8:10 Eastern Standard Time start there. And again, we're taking the Royals money line -120. If you want to make that bet or any of the bets you're about to hear, I got a place for you to go. BetMGM. New BetMGM customers can sign up today and get $1,500 in bonus bets. Just place your first wager of at least $10, and you'll receive up to $1,500 instantly if your bet loses with bonus code EDGE. That's bonus code EDGE, EDGE. All right, we got to get to that live potential play. We got to get to Mackenzie Brooks picks. She's going to the Olympics. She's going to MLB. We got golf. We're trying to go NFL preseason again. We're going to hear all about it right after this message from our partners. We're back on the Early Edge presented by BetMGM. Danny Brasco still in the chat answering questions from Gipper's Picks or anyone else. And he says, really loving Chelsea Chandler. I thought that was Chelsea Handler for a second. I was like, I can't believe she's fighting now. Also, Danny Brasco is really coming around on Damon Jackson at +195. Ask Danny Brasco any picks you want. And don't forget, he's well-versed not only in the UFC and the fighting stuff. Now, he's an NFL guy. He does a lot of breaking down other sports as well. So we'll see him obviously very soon on this show as well. Buckets, before we get to Mackenzie's picks, anything on that Spain game?
On that Spain-Germany game, I have nothing because based on the stats and what I'm seeing out of Germany, they're playing like they're playing against the USA, which is they're playing for that 0-0 and hoping to take this to penalty kicks. So if you want to live bet the under 1.5, you can, but that makes me a little bit nauseous just saying to bet the under. What I will say is if you want to live play, look at the Armenian Premier League right now because Alashkert is down 0-1 to Van Charentsevan. Alashkert double chance at -115 would be my favorite look right now, Sia.
Yeah, I was going to go right to the Alashkert game if you didn't bring it up. So really, really good call out. We're synergy as usual, like Moshe Stern saying in the chat. By the way, if you haven't hit the like button yet, at the very least, do it. You don't normally see Mackenzie Brooks on a Friday, but do it for Buckets fingers at the very least. Let's get some positive vibes, some healing vibes for Buckets and the 2028 volleyball team that he's definitely going to make. Speaking of the Olympics, Mackenzie Brooks, you've got some Olympics plays for us, which I love. And then you're going to Major League Baseball, so you have the floor.
Yes, I bet a lot of people didn't wake up this morning thinking they would be betting on the women's USA basketball team, but here we are, and we're going to do it. We have a play for them, and we have a play for who they are playing. They're playing Australia today. This will be probably the most competitive team they have played thus far. They beat Nigeria. Nigeria had that backdoor cover. We cashed that on Wednesday if anyone was watching on the network as well. But again, they're going to see some WNBA players on the other side of the ball for the first time so far. So I like Australia to cover here. It was 17.5. Now it's 15.5. This game tips off very soon. So I would act now on this if you want to get on this spread. Again, this will be the most competition this team has seen. They've only covered one game so far. So even if this is a handedly win, I could still see a backdoor cover in the fourth quarter when they start to sit the starters. Again, I could see this being a double-digit win for Team USA. I love Team USA. I think they will win gold. That doesn't necessarily mean they have to cover these massive spreads. Now, with that said, on the USA side of the ball, I do like Jackie Young to go over her point prop here, over 10.5. Now, I know I like Australia, but I also like the idea of the starters playing competitive through at least 3 quarters, if not all 4 quarters here. So I think she can certainly go over this total. She had 15 points in the last game, going 0 for 4 from deep and 3 for 5 from the free throw line. So if that is the situation and she can get 15 points, I think she can eclipse 11 here. I think this will be some of the most minutes she plays so far. She took Taurasi's starting spot last game. I think she'll keep it there. I think the rotation will stay pretty tight, not too much coming off the bench. So despite liking Australia to cover, I do think Jackie Young can still have a great game. And then we'll take it over to the MLB, to the late night slate. We are going Mets money line here. Now I look at the SportsLine model. We have the projected score 4.5, 4.1. So obviously would like the run line better, but that is just really, really pricey today. So we're going to take the risk. We're going to go with the even money and take the money line here. Now Bryce Miller has been great, but I am willing to bet on the Mets batters, the Mets offense being better. They've had a ton of success against righties lately. Top 5 in WAR this last month, this last 30 days. And you look at Quintana, now he's getting the job done. It's not very pretty, but he's 3-2 in his last 5 starts. And the Mariners offense, they've just still been striking out a ton recently. I'm willing to bet that might be the situation here again. So again, there's a reason this is even money, but I think it's worth it with the SportsLine model value.
All right. Wow. You come in on a Friday show and you deliver a triple take. I absolutely love every single take there. That was super impressive. We've got a lot of people also on the Royals money line. It looks like maybe Moshe, Rick Funcannon really like the Royals money line play as well before we even gave it out. Maybe you caught it on SportsLine. And Bucks, real quick before we go to you, if you want to be a member of SportsLine, super easy. I know you all know how to do it, but there might be some new people in here. Sportsline.com/join. You type in the promo code winners. You get 60% off the annual plan. Again, 60% off the annual plan. That gets you everything. I mean, literally, not just the picks, the articles, the simulations, the DFS stuff. We got NFL content, team-by-team previews, the Olympic bets. You name it, we've got it on SportsLine. So make sure you come join. Sportsline.com/join right there. All right, Buckets, it looks like you might have had a soccer update for us.
Not a soccer update. I want to shout out Brian Smith in the chat. It is his birthday today. He is very shy and didn't want to tell that, so I'm going to call him out for it. If I do this right, balloons should pop up in a second. Yay! Happy birthday, Brian Smith.
Happy birthday. Go ahead, Chip.
Well, I mean, I was just going to say, if we're celebrating birthdays, one of our own celebrated. And if we're going to have Royals as a play, it's one of his squads. So happy birthday to M Squared.
That's right. Happy birthday to Brian Smith and Mike McClure. Thank you for the balloons, Buckets. Very impressive. Ray Garcia likes the Rangers game over at 8.5. St. Louis Ray says, hey, what about Witt Jr. over 1.5 total bases? I don't see the juice, but I certainly don't mind that play. We've got a lot of plays in here. Check out the chat. Mark Buckholtz has some plays in here, but let's go to my play. Oh, yeah, I do want to shout out Bradley Jacobs. He's been kind of on fire here. He's got England League One Barnsley versus Mansfield. Both teams to score -145 over 2.5 at -125. All right, I'm going right back to the NFL preseason. We're going to this Dolphins game, and I think some of the money, this is tonight, of course, Dolphins, Atlanta Falcons. I think some of the money is coming in on Atlanta. We know Michael Penix is probably going to play a decent amount. I'm a big Michael Penix guy. I like Michael Penix. I just don't know that we're going to see Michael Penix air it out and be that dude that I actually think he is in game 1 of the preseason. I think Atlanta's still going to play this like a preseason game. And honestly, the Rondale Moore injury probably lingers in the back of some of these starters' heads as well. And the coaches, maybe some of these starters get off the field with Michael Penix still on the field. But it's the other side of the ball. I like to target the quarterbacks. I'm not saying Mike White and Skylar Thompson are better than Michael Penix. They certainly are not. But they're in a position 2 battle here. They're trying to win the number 2 spot behind Tua, and I think it's truly up for grabs. So what we're going to see in the first half, I think it's the preseason. So I think we're going to see a lot of Michael Penix in the first half, and I think we're going to start with Mike White and go to Skylar Thompson. I like Mike White better than Skylar Thompson, but either way, I think we're good because Skylar Thompson's a running quarterback. He's going to manufacture yards one way or the other, and I just think that quarterback competition on the Miami side, even with fewer starters on the ball, we're getting this. Basically, a tie is going to win it here because we're getting the first half plus a half. We're getting a lot of momentum for Atlanta because they're going to have Michael Penix and some more starters. But I think this QB battle with 2 veteran QBs that can move with their legs and their arm, I think that's the difference here. Give me the Dolphins first half plus a half at -105. All right, well, we teased it. Chip Patterson, we've already given out some golf picks. Golf just got underway literally less than 20 minutes ago. It was supposed to be yesterday at like 6:50 a.m. This rain is wreaking havoc, but you've got to play for round 1. Talk to us about it.
Oh, yeah. And look, this is not like a small potatoes fringe play. This is a big dogs play here. We got 3 of the top 16 names on the outright odds board, including 2 at the very top. And I ain't afraid. I'm going Billy Horschel over Brian Harman and Bob McIntyre. And we get this at a +150 price that I do think is a little bit advantageous. And it's not as much a fade of Harman or of McIntyre as it is a play on Horschel because, look, we saw how awesome that was at the Open Championship. And he comes back, and I did not like that he was going to go right back at it at the 3M Open. And I got to give a shout out to Greg Ducharme of the First Cut. He pointed this out that, when Billy Horschel woke up and was a little bit sick and he ended up having to withdraw, maybe that was good. Maybe the extra rest has him ready because course history here at Sedgefield Country Club, hello, absolutely elite. And you also think about the profile that you need to win at Sedgefield Country Club, where being able to score is really dependent. Yes, you got to have good approach play, but it starts at the tee, and it starts with driving accuracy. Being able to score from the fairway is so much higher than it is from off the fairway at a place like Sedgefield, a Donald Ross course, where you just need to solve the Rubik's Cube. I think Billy Horschel's going to have a good week. I think it starts here in the delayed first round. They're going to be throwing darts all day, and I think Billy Horschel can finish ahead of Harman and McIntyre.
Yeah, this is a good one. Especially at the number at +150. I think Harman's a very good course fit. He's probably going to have a decent tournament. But if you all were watching Monday, one of my first picks, or actually the first pick I gave out was Billy Horschel to win this tournament at 25-1. So I have 4 picks. If you watch the early wedge, it is Johnny Vegas, which was in that 50 to 60-1 range. It was Billy Horschel at 25-1. It was Cam Davis between 40 and 45-1. Then I had a long shot play on Matt Kuchar at 100-1. So I'm a big fan of the Horschel play. Mackenzie, I want to go back to you for something, but Buckets, I see you smiling. I got to know what happened that I missed.
No, it's just funny. Chip, we know, has a lot of energy, a lot of passion. When he did his woo 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 through the mic, Freya heard that through my headphones and across the room looked at me like, what the hell was it? I appreciate that kind of energy, Chip. I always have.
Well, no, listen, dogs recognize dogs. All right. So, I mean, I feel like it is that, and go dogs. I mean, it's just that extra sensory perception there.
So I might have to post this because for those of you that didn't catch the college football futures show that we did about a week ago, I mean, honestly, it's such a good show. But almost like at the beginning of the show, when you were repping Chip, the dogs, you did that thing and you had Mackenzie finish your sentence. It was like a really cool moment. I think I might have to post that because it was that good.
Sia, we need to try finishing each other's sentences.
No.
Finish each other's sandwiches.
There it is, Jeff. There it is.
All right, so Mackenzie, I want to go to you because I think you have a preseason play as well that you want to give out there, and I want to give some credit to David Kleinedler, and I'm probably mispronouncing that last name, but he says NFL preseason betting, flip a coin. Listen, we've talked about this before. We're not necessarily putting full units on preseason betting, but I do think there is an edge here and there, especially when you get to kind of diagnose the quarterback position and what teams are trotting out there and what their incentive is, new coaching staffs, teams that are bad, things of that nature. It all kind of factors in. So with all that said, David, I understand what you're saying there. And if you don't want to take the NFL preseason bets, that's fine too. We won one yesterday. Let's see if, in my case, we can win 2 in a row. But Mackenzie, you have an NFL preseason look as well.
Yeah, I just saw somebody talking about it in the chat, talking about the Bills and the Eagles, and figured might as well cover all my bases here and head over to the NFL too. I actually like the Eagles to cover the spread here against the Ravens. This is, again, I agree, some of these games are a coin flip, but some of them aren't. You look at Baltimore, they had that massive streak of winning preseason games. That was broken last season, so I don't think they care necessarily as much as they were in preseasons past. And again, you look at that quarterback battle. Obviously, we won't see Lamar Jackson. He wasn't even in the first week of training camp either. But you look at Kenny Pickett for the Eagles, okay? That's a legit quarterback, and he's actually had some of his best games against the Ravens. So again, on the other side, again with the Eagles, you have Cooper DeJean coming in, you have Quentin Mitchell, you have some solid rookies that I think are going to look to play well. So you certainly have that quarterback mismatch. The backups for the Ravens, very turnover prone, could be an ugly game for them. I just don't think they have the same firepower that they did in preseasons past. So again, I like the money line, but I like the value with the spread as well.
All right. I love the pick. We got some extra picks from Mackenzie Brooks. And by the way, the chat is so active. I might have missed something, and I could be wrong. This might be the wrong call, but it might be Bradley Jacobs' birthday as well. So we might have a third birthday in the chat. Bradley is certainly an important part of the community. So if it is, happy birthday. If I just misinterpreted the chat, then whatever your birthday is coming around, happy birthday. Chip, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was doing math. I guess it was a busy November, December.
Yes, perhaps. Buckets, go ahead.
I saw happy early birthday, Bradley Jacobs, in the chat. So I hate to, call you out like that, but you're wrong.
It does burst my bubble a bit. Yeah. So, okay, fair enough. Let's see. We've got Rye, outright winner. Listen, Rye is a very popular pick in DFS and just in the outright market. He doesn't have a good history here, but he certainly grades out really well. So 671 Stonefish, I don't hate that. Nick Dunlop, outright winner. I mean, I can't doubt this guy at this point. He wins a lot. He's a good player from Scott Y. All right, let's see if there's anything else before we get to the recap screen. See, it's confusing. Moshi says, happy birthday, Bradley, and nice call out, Chip. Can we say happy early birthday in case I missed the first call out, because I'm all confused now. Ravens +1 says somebody. Interesting take there. Oh, 35th birthday on Sunday. All right, we got that cleared up. Let's see what the recap screen looks like here. All right, I'm on the Dolphins. This is tonight, first half +0.5 at -105. Mackenzie Brooks bringing it with the picks. Eagles -1 at -105. Mets money line at +100. Somebody was asking about Olympic basketball. I think maybe you were late to the show because we've got a couple of picks here. Australia +15.5 and Jackie Young over 10.5 points at -120. Buckets, Blackburn, Derby, both teams to score -125. And FC Kaiserslautern, Firth, both teams to score plus over 2.5 at -135. Nailed it. Chip Patterson, Wyndham Championship round 1. We're going Billy Ho +150 and a round 1 3-ball over Brian Harmon and Bobby Mack. Return of the Mack, Robert McIntyre. Royals money line is the SportsLine play, and it looks to be a very popular play in the chat as well. Bradley says, great job, C. I can't disagree with that. Great job, everybody. Mackenzie Brooks, Buckets, the Mice. Danny Brasco was in the chat. Chip Patterson with the chip me up. Jake the Snake on the 1s and 2s, 9s and 10s, constantly updating all of the graphics pre-show and during the show. Absolutely love to see it. Let's have a great Friday, folks. Let's cash some tickets. Let's stay positive. On behalf of the Early Edge, I'm the Counselor of Cash, and we rest our case.